I'm going to take a very interesting flight today to Lukla, Nepal. Lukla is the starting point for the trek to the base camp of the Himalayas, and that trek itself is 130 kilometers with the elevation increase from 9,300 at Lukla to 17,600 at the base camp. 11-day arduous journey, but that's where the fun starts. The airport itself is a small one with 1729 feet long. It's very short, so you need it's actually got a 12 degree gradient to slow the planes down fast on landing. And as you approach it, there's no room for error. If you have error, you end up on the cliff face. So you just make sure that you go and land right on that air strip. The Lukla town you can see on either side of the airport. And how do we actually now get to Lukla on the plane? We take a 96-degree radial from Katmandu VOR KMT VOR and then go for 70 nautical miles and enter the valley. And it's all visual flight rules from there. You just visually fly into the airport. Enough talking. Let's get going. I'm on the tarmac at Katmandu, ready to go. I've just set various altitudes. I'm going to fly at 13,000 feet today. The altitude and the VOR I've set already. I'll explain that a bit as we fly there some time to discuss things. Just taking off. I'm sure you have not seen this view when you take off in a normal plane when you fly. It's a beautiful thing to see. This Microsoft Flight Simulator has a number of camera views.
Katmandu Tower Seki Sierra Alpha Kilo 123 continue.
From which we can observe the plane. So this is another view. Very interesting. You can actually get a fairly good feel of how the flight is taking place.
Katmandu approach Seki Sierra Alpha Kilo 123 is typed on RTBN 92 miles south of Katmandu 6,700 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace. Flight Airflight 60 contact Katmandu Center on 124.7. Good day.
I've just set the autopilot active to follow the route, the 96-degree radial from VOR KMT, and also set the plane to climb to altitude of 13,000. Oh, I have in fact forgotten to take the gear up. I should do that just as the plane begins to climb. In the excitement, I forgot to do that. I'm now taking the gear up and the flaps up as well.
Katmandu approach Flight Airflight 60 is passing 13,900 feet, descending 8,700 feet. Flight Airflight 60 Katmandu approach altimeter 29.92 continue as planned. Flight Airflight 60 descend and maintain 7,400 feet.
That is the GPS of the plane. The three brown dots that you see on the screen are the VOR stations. Some camera angles as we fly over Katmandu. We are just passing 12,000 feet, you can see. As we begin to level off, the speed is increasing. I've actually chopped off quite a bit of the cruise phase of the flight to make the video shorter. See, that is my plane, and you can see the Everest range, the Himalayas further away. They are to my left as we fly down this 96-degree radial. The Chaki 1146 is my pilot identification. Sierra Alpha Kilo Yankee 1146. We are now cruising at about 215 knots.
Lukla 123 Katmandu approach altimeter 29.902 continue as planned.
Air traffic control is telling me to continue as planned.
Lukla 123 contact Katmandu center on 124.7. Good day.
That red line that you see on the screen is the link between Katmandu on the left and Lukla on the right. But we are not flying that because you can't fly that. There are mountains in between. I'm flying a 96 radial. I continue for 70 nautical miles down that route. Straight on like that for 70 nautical miles, and then I have to find the valley where the Lukla airport is and enter the valley, go up the valley and take a sharp turn right towards the airport for a quick approach to landing. Just having a look at the Himalayas range again on my left. Too far to identify which is which.
Katmandu center point at Air 712 was passing 6,500 feet, climbing 9,600 feet. Good at Air 712 Katmandu center altimeter 29.902 continue as planned.
All that is ATC chatter, communications with other airlines, airplanes. The exciting part of the landing is actually from about 10 minutes. So if anybody doesn't want to go through the cruise phase, you could start at 10 minutes and have a quick glance at the landing. I have actually put 2 extra landings spliced onto the same video just to make it more interesting. I am putting the landing gear down and the flaps down as well. Bit early. You normally do that closer to the airport, a little bit more closer, but I'm just about to intersect that valley and turn left, and I don't want too many things in my mind at that point, so I'm doing it a bit early so that I've configured the plane well for the landing. You can see in the screen, the middle screen there, the plane is fairly close to Lukla. It's upper valley on the left. So I've just turned towards that. Notice that I have put the flaps down full and brought the speed down to 77. It should have been over 80, 85. My plane Deha TPM 930 is a turboprop, which is quite powerful. Normally it's the twin engine propeller planes which come and land here in the Nepal Airlines and Sita Airlines and so on. Mine is an unusual plane to come here, but I find that well, I'm happy with this plane. It's my go-to plane, and I use that, and it can actually fly slower as well as fast. You can see the valley on the left. That is where we are going to go up now. Because I know where the airport is right up there ahead, I can kind of see it. You might be able to kind of see a flat area on the right there of the valley, kind of cut it to the cliff. That's where the airport is. And in normal flight, if you can't see the airport at this point, or if it's not clear, if it's full of cloud or fog or misty, and if it is bad for visual flight, you don't go and land, you turn off. So the planes can land only if you can actually really see the airport at this point, because once you enter the valley, taking a turn and coming back is possible but not easy. I think you know that the normal airport has what is called a go around. If your approach is bad, if you think you can't land, then there is a procedure for going around the airport once more and then coming in for a second landing. There is a kind of a go around here, but it's a very tricky go around. You have to land in your first go. Yeah, at about 10,000 feet here, or maybe 11,000 feet, I can't really see that clearly. The elevation of the airport is 9,330, I think, something like that. I have to, by the time I get to the turn where I turn towards the airport, I have to get down to a altitude of 9,700 approximately, because if I'm too high, then once I take the turn, I can't drop myself down from a higher altitude down to 9,300 in the short approach we have. It's a short approach, so I can only drop between 400-500 feet. So I need to have the right altitude by the time I take the turn. You'll see that as we go on. I'm on full flaps, gear down, speed down to about 80-85. The recommended approach speed is 85 for this plane. I have to keep the plane a little to the left of the valley, left of center of the valley, to get more approach distance as we approach. And you can begin to see the runway now. As I explained at the beginning of the video, the runway has got a slope, a gradient of 12 degrees approximately going up. So you got to get the plane on a very shallow approach. If you come on a normal glide slope of 3 degrees, you get into a bit of a bump. You can see the approach now. You can see the runway. I'm turning towards it. So it's a very short approach at this point. I have to be at the right altitude to get there. Short distance for me to align myself as well as drop down, reduce my altitude. Oops, I was a little short of the runway, I think. Nevertheless, if you can walk out of it, that's a good landing. And this is where people begin to clap in normal flights. You saw that flight that was just going past us? That is the AI aircraft. Microsoft Flight Simulator has artificial intelligence aircraft coming in. One of those things just went by. These things occasionally happen. So I'm climbing up the slope of the runway now. Not quite used to how to manage the thrust at this point. I don't want to go down, slide back down the slope, or I need to keep on going up. If I go up too fast, too much power, then I shoot out of the runway into that cliff ahead. It's got 4 parking spaces, very small airport. So you got to go unload and then get back up again. Oops. Maybe I'm not supposed to come here, but some is. Oh, I'm on a second landing now. Just to have a little bit more fun. I've done this about 3-4 times, in fact multiple times. But the 3 of the ones that I was successful in, I've actually spliced onto this video so that you can see how it goes. You can just knock it off right now, or just keep on witness 2 more landings if you like. The second time around, you can see where the airport is much better. On the right, where the cliff face has been carved out. You can make out the runway there. Why I say that people clap when you land is that I followed some 2 or 3 real videos of real flights, and you know about the planes have about 10-15 passengers normally, and they get very anxious at this point when the plane is about to land, and when the landing is done, finally successful touchdown, people really get excited. They start clapping and cheering and things like that. But unfortunately, in my simulator, there's no passengers to clap. There the runway. This is second landing. I'm doing this once more. Give a third landing as well. I had different experience in the 3 times in terms of altitude control or speed control or how I land. Still very amateurish, but just managed. Not so short like last time. It's better, but a bit of a hard landing. Slowed down too much. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Going again. Oh. I cut off power too early there. Oh, there's a van there in my parking bay. I thought that's mine. It's landing 3 now. So it is from Lukla that the trek, the climb to the Everest base camp starts. And as I said earlier, it's see how the way feels. It's a 130-kilometer trek up from 9,300 to 17,600 feet climb. So people actually climb up take this trek very slowly, acclimatize themselves to different oxygen levels as well as they go up. To go up there and come down, it takes about 11 days, they say. You can see the runway on the right. too low this time, I wonder. I landed a bit further down the runway this time. You can see another one of those AI aircraft there. Just vanishes after a little while. That small plane is still there. It was there in my landing too as well. Not good taxiing, not a good parking position, but